Hey, what's up guys? Killer Queen memes the dust here, and today, I'm actually going to defend someone, rather than attack. It's like that meme. I protect, but I also attack. Anyway, I'm going to be discussing that Creepy Readings video titled 5 of the Most Deadly Theme Parks. I'll be pointing out not only the parts in the video where he messed up, but also the parts where he got things right, and idiots in the comment section just don't want to accept the truth. I'll also leave a link to all the information and the original video in the pinned comment below. First, before we get into the actual video, the title is a bit misleading considering the fact that it's not the most deadly theme parks. He just found a couple of theme park deaths and tossed them into a fucking video, which I don't blame him. I understand, you gotta have a little bit of clickbait nowadays to get some of those views, but I think that's where some of the problems in the video lie. A lot of people in the comments just see most deadly and they see some of the ones on this list and think, oh, now I ain't fucking right. Now, first up on the list is Kings Island, Ohio. One of the 2 on this list that I've actually been to.
On May 26, one of the park's employees, Mr. Terry Riot, was mauled and killed by one of the park's lions on a wildlife exhibit, which of course featured real-life hungry animals. Some say that the lion was mistreated, thus leading to the poor creature to attack. Fortunately, Terry got out of the accident with only a punctured trachea, surviving his bout with the king of the jungle.
This is the part that most of the people in the comments were bringing up, and yeah, he messed up there, obviously. The fact of the matter is, Terry did survive, but where he got the whole he died part was probably because of a different safari ranger, John McCann, I hope to God I am actually saying that name right, was also attacked by lions on July 26, 1976, and died as a result. However, these attacks were not Kings Island's fault, considering the fact that both of these safari rangers apparently left their vehicles when they weren't fucking supposed to.
Less than a year later, another incident occurred, sadly taking the life of 17-year-old John Harder. Harder was brave, though perhaps he was too adventurous for his own good. On May 13th, 1983, he was climbing up an elevator shaft at the then restricted Eiffel Tower exhibit before falling to his demise.
This was sadly true. However, it didn't show any negligence on Kings Island's behalf. The next clip, however...
2 freak accidents occurred all within one day, including the death of Cindy Taylor. Miss Taylor was getting strapped into the Space Commander ride that lifted one into the air before spinning all the riders around quickly as it rises farther and farther into the air. However, there was a problem with the straps in Cindy's seat, as they were not tight enough, and she was thrown from over 30 feet in the air before hitting the ground and dying. Reports say that she was drunk upon entering the Space Commander, making her body far more limp, thus making the already loose straps more of a concern.
Although some people would say it's her fault for being drunk, it's the park's fault for not securely fastening her, and also not just fucking denying a drunk person from riding the ride when it's fucking potentially dangerous. But mostly the fastening of the seatbelt not being good enough. This is the first check against Kings Island, but not the only one against them.
Earlier that same day, Timothy Benning entered the park looking for a hat that he lost. He entered a restricted area, believing that it perhaps was knocked off while on a roller coaster. He soon fell into a pool that, due to a mechanical error with the water pump, shocked him unconscious. Fearing that his friend may drown, his buddy Will jumped in after him, along with the help of his security guard, Daryl Robertson. Sadly, another electrical current passed through the water, shocking Will and Daryl to death.
I couldn't find any information on his reasoning being a hat, so take that as you will. But, at the very least, this did happen, and Kings Island was responsible for the faulty aerator pump. Aerator pump. I don't know things about anything, okay? Fuck off. And that was the cause of the electrocution. Apparently. The last clip is just the incident with the Son of Beasts, which didn't result in any deaths, but 27 injuries. I would say it's not relevant, but it shows that Kings Island is negligent. I'm gonna skip the next part since it's accurate and realistically nobody complained about it in the comments. And if they did, I just didn't fucking find anything. So let's go on to Playland, New York.
The earliest death on record followed shortly after the park's opening day, 1928, when a young man, aged only 19 years old, was riding the Whip. Nowadays, the Whip is probably the least extreme roller coaster to ever grace an amusement park. However, the straps on this ride were not strapped on correctly, and the boy was knocked from the ride and then was crushed beneath the wheels of the other riders.
Now, I had a hard time finding a credible source for this. I'm not saying it didn't happen since it was the 1920s, but the best source I could find was Wikipedia and some website that I'd use the Wayback Machine to get onto, so again, with a grain of salt.
Another death did not occur on these park grounds for another 60 years when an 8-year-old girl was chewing gum while on the famous Dragon Coaster.
Well, this is true, but this death isn't the park's fault.
2004, the problem started when a little girl of 7 years old boarded due to the employees not checking her safety restraints and them not being tight enough led her to wiggle free. Halfway through the ride, she stood up to wave at another student and was thrown from the ride, dying upon impact of another cart. 3 years later, another death happened on, you guessed it, the Mine Scrambler, when an employee 21 years of age was helping some of the younger riders out of their carts. That's when the ride suddenly started again, and she was violently struck with multiple carts, dying of blunt force trauma.
The Mine Scrambler was a complete mess. The little girl he mentioned in the video did die, but the story about the employee was a bit different from what he said. According to the article by the New York Times that I read, the park worker decided to ride the Mine Scrambler, but didn't fasten the seatbelt on the ride and flew out. She also was forbidden from riding the ride since she was still in uniform and on duty. Anyway, not much to mention besides he's right about it. Although he did get a little bit of the facts wrong. Unless there was another one that I just didn't see mentioned anywhere. In which case he was right, but he may have got that little bit of fact wrong. Would have been useful if he actually cited his goddamn sources. And let's skip the whole sawmill thing. I don't have much to add, and I still have to try to fall into fair use onto this somehow. But do know that he is correct about it, and Jesus Christ is Playland somehow really fucking bad.
Disney World / Land. You can have an entire video on just accidents at Walt Disney parks. In fact, many people have.
Well, those are accident videos. Not a video about the most deadly theme parks, now is it? Also, of course, there's going to be a larger amount of accidents at Disney considering the massive amount of people that visit a year. The Disney section was the part that I personally had a problem with while watching. And also, full disclosure, I've actually been to Disney, which is the second one that I've been to. And unlike Kings Island, where, yeah, I 100% did not feel as safe as I did at Disney. Disney's way fucking safer.
We're serious. So many strange and messed up stuff has happened within the hallowed grounds of Disney, including an incident in 2013 when a worker made explosives out of dry ice and placed them in the trash cans. While they damaged the property, fortunately, no guests were injured.
As you said, it didn't injure anyone. Nor is it Disney's fault. Now, I feel like someone is going to question why I'm constantly saying if it's the park's fault or not. And that's because if someone is breaking the rules or doing something that they aren't supposed to, then it isn't the park that's dangerous. It's stupid people that are dangerous. Now, if a ride malfunctions, yes, it is the park's fault, since they're responsible for keeping up with that shit.
Another incident, this time in 1987, involved a gang war right outside the park, in which two small groups of people were found shooting at one another, ultimately leading to a single causality, in which a 15-year-old gang member was caught point blank with a bullet to the skull.
I'm not even gonna do a little bit of research on this whole fucking story, because again, it isn't Disney's fault, nor is it even within fucking park grounds, because as you just said,
Right outside the park.
it's not hard to find accidents in Disney, and hell, I know one that you didn't fucking mention. Big Thunder Mountain, anyone? Do a bit of fucking research. Anyway, I'm just a little confused why you mentioned a gang fight that wasn't Disney's fault, and a dry ice bomb that wasn't Disney's fault. One in which didn't injure anyone. The other killed somebody outside of the park's gate. Now, the next clip was about Debbie Stone, and realistically, I have no point in showing that. I talked about Debbie Stone in my Chills video. Realistically, the only thing I have to say is that he mentioned that her death was because she was improperly trained. However, I couldn't find any information saying that she was improperly trained, and that's why. Also, the last one was some person getting hit with a metal cleat. That was Disney's fault, 100%. Factually, it happened. There's really not much I can add to these videos. Why am I even doing this?
And finally, number 1, Action Park.
Actually, it's number 5. It even says right there. But I kind of figured Action Park would be on here. It actually is the most dangerous park in the US. Or at least was. I don't really have much I can add to this, so yeah, we're just gonna skip this one as well. Although, I do have one little thing I want to show you.
Most of the people who went to this park were Latino, as the park was built in a mostly Latino populated area. Despite this, none of the teenagers could speak Spanish, and none of the safety warnings or instructions were ever explained in Spanish.
Kinda redundant saying that they can't speak Spanish, and then saying that the instructions were never explained in Spanish, but you do you. Also, I find it a bit odd that Action Park takes up a third of the video. I mean, you could have just made a whole video on Action Park yourself. Actually, fuck, I might do that. That's a pretty easy fucking video. Actually, it's not gonna be that easy. Hey, what's up, guys? Killer Queen memes the dust, and here's my screen. You can see it right now. I figured I'd do this real quick because I already know there's gonna be some people who are gonna say Kings Island, Ohio is really safe and shouldn't be on that list. Mainly because there were those type of people in that Creepy Readings video. So, yeah, as you can see here, I have a list of the most dangerous theme parks in the US. Some people are going to say this is Fox News, therefore it's fake news, but this isn't anything political, so you can shut your dick hole. You got Kings Island, Ohio, right here, number 4 on that list. Suck my dick. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Emily the Emo for giving me this background footage to use. I didn't realize I ran out of new footage, so I just asked her to get me some since I didn't have enough time to record any new footage, so yeah, thank you for that, Emily. I'll leave a link to her channel in the pinned comment below. And I also want to say that I have absolutely no problems with that Creepy Readings. I'm a fan of his, I'm subscribed to his channel, and I like his content overall. He has a bit of grammatical problems, yes, but I really don't give a shit about that. What matters is that he gets the facts right. And for the most part, he did a good job. be better if he fucking linked his sources, though. Anyway, guys, I await your memes.
Down to the basement, replacement, goes as placement. Big bucks payment, I dirty like a slave man. Began to lose patience to these
Niggas in my butt, oh, 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 niggas in